I don't need to tell you that you need to create an email promotion calendar to grow your business and sales. But what I can tell you is that overwhelming feeling you feel every time you sit down to plan doesn't have to feel like that at all. And hey, if we haven't met, I'm Lise. I've been in business for over 14 years and I have helped thousands of women make daily sales without social media, all through the power of email marketing. And I'm super excited to talk to you about my email promotion calendar. Now, like I said, I know that you need to plan this stuff. But we don't need to be so crazy that we end up feeling stuck, that we end up doing nothing. Or worse than that, we sit down to plan and we literally have a blinking cursor because we have no idea what we need to do. So in this video, I am going to walk you through how to create your own email promotion calendar. And I'm going to walk you through what I typically do for my members inside the Grow, Nurture, Sell Collective. There's a few things that you want to do to prep yourself in terms of getting ready to map out your promotions. And the first question that you want to ask is, what is happening this month? So typically when I am planning out my email promotion calendar, I'm doing that a week before the month starts. You can do this whenever you want, right? It doesn't have to be at the start of the month. You could be mid-month right now. Don't get hung up on that. Just simply go, okay, what does the month that I'm wanting to create this for, what does that look like? Are there any special dates? Now, the reason why I'm asking you to answer this question is we always need a reason to be promoting. Our audience need a reason to buy. And that could be as simple as, it's World Health Day, whatever it is, right? There are those special dates that you can go and just literally Google and you will find international dates worldwide. You'll also want to pay attention to anything that's happening locally. And sometimes you might want to avoid some dates, right? You might want to avoid things like Easter. You might want to avoid things like Thanksgiving, or maybe you actually want to do something around that because maybe you're a mindset coach and you have a practice that's all about being thankful. Now, that would 100% align with a Thanksgiving promotion. So, all I want you to do is have a look at the calendar, have a look at any dates, and see if there are any that resonate, a reason for you to be able to promote an offer. So, once you've got that kind of written down, you know what those dates are, maybe you found some special things, maybe you haven't. The next thing that you want to be considering is, how often are you planning to promote in that month? And this really just circles back to your offer suite. How many offers do you have? What does that look like? So if you've got more than 4 offers, then you could easily do a promotion a week. Now, as soon as I said that, you probably were like, oh my God, I can't promote every single week. Yes, you can. And you can promote every single day if you want. At the end of the day, it's always about positioning and messaging. Do you have the right positioning? Do you have the right messaging? Are you speaking to your ready to buy customers? We don't need to be always promoting to every single person on our email list. So all we need to decide is, what are the offers? What's the reason that I'm actually promoting? And how often do I want to promote? So I'm a huge fan of running short flash sales. I typically do anywhere from 48 to 72 hours, and those work really well. Or I'm also a fan of doing a 5-day promotion. At the end of the day, you decide. It's entirely up to you. And then depending on the offers that you have, the other thing that you also need to consider are things like, how often has your audience heard about your offer? So if this is something that is an evergreen offer, like it's a course or something like that, when was the last time you talked about it? What does that actually look like? And so if you haven't mentioned this offer in a while, then there may need to be some nurture content that you need to do. So you might need to bust some myths, that type of thing. Now, it depends. The more expensive the program is, the more nurture content you need to do. So my rule of thumb is basically, if you've got an offer that's $500 or more, you probably want to do a week of nurture content. And what I mean by that is 2 to 3 emails prior to your actual promotion window. And those emails should all be centered around busting myths, case studies, showing why people actually will benefit from what they're actually going to buy. So that is just going to depend on what content you already have. You don't need to create new content. I'm a huge fan of repurposing. And if you've never talked about an offer, then this is where you can take your sales page and have your favorite AI tool of choice create some initial sales emails. Now, you will always want to go in and adjust those. And if you haven't picked up the Nurture and Sell framework, then I would recommend that you go and check out that now, link in the description. And that is just going to help you nurture and sell. Actually create an email that does both jobs for you. So you could conceivably use the Nurture and Sell framework for your nurture content and for your sales content. They are both, one and the same thing. The point is that if you're going to use the Nurture and Sell framework for your sales emails, you just want to make sure that your call to action is in the body of your text versus it being in the PS. Now, I want to show you what this looks like in action. So this is something that, like I said, that I do for my members. I create ahead of time. So this was for March. And basically, this person has a subscriber base of between 500 to 1,000 subscribers, so not a huge email list. And she's working with women who are introverts and empaths who care for others. So that's kind of what she's doing. Now, I always layer in the human design. So because she's a manifesting generator, I've made some notes here where I've said you need to inform your audience before you promote. They need a heads up. Now, she's got a lot going on here, and that's because she has something that she's really wanting to talk about. So this was based on, she filled out a form. So she does a lot on Threads. She's all in on social media. Now, I personally am not, but I work with plenty of people who choose to do things on social media. It's your business. You always get to decide what that looks like. But the point is, as you look at this, you can kind of see what we're talking about. And this is she's needing to nurture a lot of nurture content because she's actually going to be promoting some things. And so you can see that she's doing like a warm-up sequence. She's got a newsletter. So she is emailing her audience 3 times a week. That's typically what that looks like. And then this is when she is doing her sales process, was on the 17th of March. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She chose to do that. And then we segmented down for the last 2 days to only send to people who have clicked on the sales page and then not bought. Now, the reason why you want to do that, and even more so, the more offers that you are promoting, we always want to be segmenting. So just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing inside your email, that you're choosing to tag people appropriately so that you can do things like this, so that you can segment, particularly if a promotion isn't relevant to every single person in your audience. And this is why one of the questions that I ask as I'm creating an offer is, who is the ideal target audience for this offer? And that could be all of the people in my audience, but typically it's not. So I always want to make sure that I have a clear understanding of who those are. So make sure that you are tagging wherever possible in every single email that goes out. And what I mean by that is, every time someone clicks a link in an email, are they being tagged appropriately? And that could be an interest, that could be a lead for a specific offer, whatever that is. Just make sure that you're tagging. So your action step is to literally pull out a calendar and start mapping out your promotions for the next month, paying attention to any special dates that might be a reason for you to promote. It could literally be seasonal, right? It could be summer, spring, autumn, winter, whatever works for you. It could be back to school. It could be let's go on vacation. Whatever is happening in your audience's world, pay attention to that. And then if you really want to dial in on your emails and make sure that you're able to actually sell, I'm going to share my exact email process that drives sales every day. I'll see you in that video.